Peter, we've seen incredible growth in the last many months. Name brand services like Hulu and Netflix and others. But let's talk to the chief content officer who may be watching us, who's thinking, there's a huge set of requirements to build a service like that. A lot of moving parts, very complex. But we have the solutions that can help that person go to market, like you say, very effectively, very simply. Can we touch a little bit on that suite of services that we offer?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there's a lot there, really, when you think about, a Netflix or Hulu-like service. But it starts with the acquisition, right? And providing the infrastructure to acquire the content and then distribute it, right? You want to be able to get your content in such a way that if it's for your own OTT environment, you can process the content. Do you need DRM rights wrapped on top of that? So there's a lot of processing considerations that go into that. And then finally, it's how do you enable your business models on top of that content? So what is your strategy to get closer to the consumer based on the content that you have? And I think you really have to look at that entire chain in how you bring your content to market.
Expand a little further on that. I mean, there's true value in that soup to nuts, or its own overused term, but end to end, where things are all kind of concatenated in one workflow, as opposed to having to piecemeal and kind of wedge those different components in. Can you talk a little bit about the value of that?
Yeah, whether it's broadcast distribution or digital, I mean, the challenge there is if you start doing piecemeal, then you're potentially using a number of different vendors for these different components. And you certainly want best in class, but you want the ability to be able to provide a unified workflow and have a consistent handoff from one technology set to the next. And that's the value that you get when you consider with Comcast technology, being able to do all those different chains of the workflow right up until the end delivery to the consumer.
So now we're talking more from the content provider side of things, right? So this is having the ability to take the content from the production facility, from the origination point, and getting it into a processing stack, but doing it really easily, so that you're not burdened with having to build that stack on-prem. You don't have it within your walled garden. You're using technology to get that channel delivered up into a cloud where that processing can be done with all the bells and whistles that you're looking for in all the different adaptive bitrate profiles and all of the dash and the HLS and the HSS streaming protocols, and getting that delivered out to not just to a single endpoint, but out to various distribution endpoints.
And you talk about, let's expand a little bit on bells and whistles, because now live linear isn't just about a channel being processed and streamed. It's about features like look back or DVR, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, look back, start over, being able to dictate how much of that content do you want to store so that your viewer can go back and pull that back, say it's 90 minutes or even 30 days, and doing that right from their interface on their guide. But that all happens at that processing stack.
And then being able to take that asset, once that hour-long show, for example, is finished, and instantly make it a VOD asset, so that the viewers who want to come up and or the catch-up TV, but I missed the first hour, I missed that show.
Right, and not only making it a VOD asset, but also distributing that VOD asset out to your distribution partners so that they can ingest that VOD asset and put it into your library.
We're also seeing that across now. The content rights are global, right? So we're seeing these requirements, these challenges, if you will, on a global scale. So processing in the cloud, while it's not new, we're seeing some critical mass there for the things that you can do to process the content and make it available globally. And that just obviously increases the ability for providers themselves to be able to think across different markets and different requirements that they have, that they're not tied to on-prem infrastructure, and it opens up a lot of different possibilities.
And when you're looking at a cost per subscriber, and you're looking to bring that cost down or manage that cost, because we're all about making money, it's looking at the different options for processing. And typically having that stack live on premise is more of that broadcast mentality, where bringing it into the cloud helps you to add those bells and whistles that you're talking about, Matt, and actually do it in a cost-effective way, so that you're delivering those options and those features to your clients.